Hi, I'm Greg Dell here with Victor Penna. And Victor, what is it with Cigna? I mean, every other case that comes out seems to be a Cigna long-term disability denial. A lot of case law with Cigna, either they're just unreasonable, they have the most claims, they love to file lawsuits. I'm not sure what it is, but fortunately, a lot of the cases I'm reading lately, Cigna's losing in the courts, and their decisions are being overturned by either district court or an appellate court. So tell me about this recent case. It just came out of Colorado, I believe. It wasn't a case that we handled, but since we track every case around the country, I thought it was a good one to educate some of our clients and potential claimants about what's been going on lately with Cigna.
Right. And you're right. And this is a pretty standard Cigna denial. Like a lot of cases, this claimant received 24 months of own occupation benefits. Then once they reached the 24-month mark, Cigna made a decision regarding her eligibility for any occupation benefits, that change in definition. So initially she was working for Geico as an auto damage field rep, and she became disabled due to trigeminal neuralgia. So she worked there for 19 years.
So that's a neurological disorder?
Right, it's a neurological disorder, and it's the trigeminal nerve that runs across your face. Sometimes it's a hard condition to prove. That's what essentially led to their denial. It essentially came down to a credibility assessment. So she exercised 2 appeals following her denial, eventually had to litigate the case, and so when the court reviewed this, pretty much drew light on when an insurance company can deny a case based on a credibility assessment, or rather when they cannot deny a case based on a credibility assessment. So during her 2 appeals, Cigna actually had her seen or undergo an independent medical evaluation, so had her seen by one of their doctors. They did several independent file reviews, basically finding in favor of the denial. When the judge or when the court reviewed the case, basically dismissed or didn't give those opinions any weight. So basically said that, okay, the doctor that actually saw her, there was evidence in the report that he was biased, and the reports, they didn't give her case any weight. So it essentially came down to a credibility assessment. And what the court said is that where the biggest thing here was the fact that they didn't challenge the existence of her condition. So they had paid her for 24 months of benefits. The existence of her condition, the fact that she actually was suffering from this condition, trigeminal neuralgia, wasn't challenged. And so when they made the argument that there's no objective evidence without really any basis for that argument, the judge or the court determined that there wasn't a sufficient basis to terminate her claim.
So what did the court do?
Reinstated the claim. So, yeah, in this case, it would have been a reinstatement.
So it could have been a remand to say, go back to the insurance company and look at it again, but this time they said no. The court said they thought they abused our discretion so badly that the court said, I want you to award benefits to this claimant.
Right.
And so this seems like a classic denial where it looks like the claimant got paid for 24 months of own occupation, and then when the definition switched to any occupation, they felt that this particular claimant could then return to any other type of job?
Correct.
And what was the initial job again in the own occupation?
She was an auto damage field supervisor. So initially she would obviously had to drive a lot, and she was prevented from driving due to all the pain that she was experiencing in her face. So it was a lot easier to prove the claim at first, and then once that change in definition hit and that standard change to her having to prove that she's unable to work in any occupation, then obviously a much tougher standard to prove or to satisfy, they cut her off at that point.
Did any of their doctors examine her, or was it all paper reviews?
They had one doctor during the initial appeal actually see her, and actually 1 month after she was denied, she was approved by the Social Security Administration for benefits, and the Social Security Administration also had an independent medical evaluation performed that found that she was disabled, of course.
Okay, so that's an important fact, because I find that if you get your Social Security disability approved and that's a lower threshold than usually what's in the disability policy, the courts put a lot of weight into that.
Right.
And did Cigna give any weight to the Social Security?
It was another reason that the court actually found in favor of her was the fact that they dismissed it. The reason for dismissing, and you see this a lot, was the fact that it was, what they said that it was an old review. It was from 2011, which was like 4 years before they cut off her benefits, and the judge says it wasn't a sufficient basis to dismiss that Social Security finding.
Right. Well, it's great to see that this judge really held Cigna's feet to the fire and reversed in this claim, but what's so challenging in ERISA is that I've seen this same exact fact pattern where a judge has said, no, I think their review was reasonable because they looked at Social Security, they had a doctor examine the claimant, they had another doctor review the records. So this is a great victory for claimants. However, it's so arbitrary even among the courts from one judge to the next, whereas another judge could have looked at this particular case based upon what Cigna did and found the other way. And that's the big challenge that we face as lawyers and claimants face. When you go to final decision, you're at the mercy of the court and hoping that the judge is going to sympathize with the claimant and find that the company acted arbitrary and capricious.
Right.
So if you have a claim with Cigna, Lena, also known as Life Insurance Company of North America, or any long-term disability insurance company, feel free to give Victor or any of our other lawyers a call. We always offer a free consultation, and we look forward to the opportunity to speak with you.